What's up, everybody? One Fun Guy podcast live in the studio. I'm just hanging out. I was supposed to do a podcast tonight with Mark's Metal Minute. Mark had to cancel, unfortunately, so it's just me hanging out. So I thought I'd come live just to say what's up, try to figure out my camera angle and stuff like that. When I go live on TikTok, it makes my camera always stay vertical. If you go live on TikTok, you know that. You can't turn it horizontal yet. Hopefully they figure that out in the next update or so. So unfortunately, my camera's always jacked up when I come live on TikTok, but I don't mind. It is what it is. I don't really do that often. Anyways, if you're up and you're on, say what's up. I'm One Fun Guy Podcast. I'm hanging out in the studio. I'm just going to create some content for YouTube later, so I thought I'd come live here. It's real quick to download and it's easy to upload, so I like that aspect of it. So if you're new here, I'm the One Fun Guy Podcast. If you're not new, welcome. Please subscribe to my channel. All my links are in my bio. One Fun Guy Podcast across all the platforms. I do a conversation style podcast bi-weekly. Sometimes more, sometimes less. I average about 2 a month, and they're on my YouTube channel at One Fun Guy Podcast. So if you want to head over there and check it out, I'd love a subscribe from you. If you like this video, please tap the screen. If you want to share it, be my guest. I would love to have you guys on. If anybody you know or you yourself want to be a guest on my podcast, please feel free. Send me a message. Let me know. It's onefunguypodcast@gmail.com. I would love to have you on. Or if you know somebody who wants to be a guest, send them my way. I would love to have you guys on. I'm just going to share this out to a few people, guys. I don't know how long I'm going to stay on for. I guess that would depend on you guys if you want to hang out with me or not. If I just keep talking into a screen and I'm not with anybody, as my iPad just fell over, as things happen when you're live, here I am. So please get back to me, guys. I'll set myself back up. I was trying to type, and obviously I can't do that on my stand because I just fell over. So I'm going to hold this now while I'm typing and sharing so it doesn't happen again. And we'll go from there. So give me 1 second. Let me get everybody back on that I was going to share to. And now I'm holding my stand so I don't fall over. That was kind of embarrassing, but it is what it is. I'm just going to share this out, guys. And then if you're on, say what's up. If you're here, join me. If you want to come on live with me and hang out for a couple minutes, I'm more than happy to chat with somebody if they're on, if you want to do the split screen. I know a lot of people, when you're live, they like to battle and do all this stuff. That's not me. I don't mind doing it for fun, but I'm not in the mode to really do that. I'd rather talk to somebody. If there's anybody that wants to have a conversation, I would be glad to do that. I don't like jumping in people's lives either, because you never know what the subject's going to be or what the topic is going to be. I don't feel like arguing or talking to anybody that really has nothing productive to say as at the moment. Like I said, I was supposed to do a podcast today with Mark's Metal Minute. Mark had a family emergency, so he had to cancel. So with that being said, I just thought I would come on here, go live for a little bit, kind of have fun, goof around like I used to. I used to use TikTok a lot as my main platform. I used to go live all the time. I'd go live at least, several times a week. I stopped doing that just because I wanted to focus more on YouTube and get that channel growing up over there. Doesn't mean I don't like TikTok or what it's involved with. I'm very good with that. Like I said, I used it as my platform for many, many years. It was one of the few things I started out with since 2024, since I was doing the podcast. TikTok was one of the very few first places I went live. So like I said, I'm just on. Diane, what's going on? If you want to hop on live with me, you're more than welcome if you want to chat. I don't know what you got going on this afternoon. I know you go live often. I'm just on real quick, guys. I just wanted to create some content. Like I said, I was going to be doing my podcast with Mark's Metal Minute. Mark, unfortunately, had a family emergency. So like I said, I canceled. I don't want to say I canceled with him, but I rescheduled with him, but I had to cancel the podcast for today. So Mark rescheduled, no big deal. That's all good. I'm just sharing this out, guys, to a couple more people that usually were OG subscribers of the podcast. I don't want to feel like they've been left out because I didn't send them the link to this. So I'm going to do that now. So don't mind me, guys. And yeah, so other than that, that's pretty much it. If I sent it again, guys, I'm sorry. If you were with me just a couple minutes ago, my iPad fell over. So just bear with me, guys. Like I said, if you like what you see and you want to tap the screen, that helps me out. Normally, when I go live by myself, unfortunately, I don't get many taps and likes. It is what it is. I usually try to get to 1,000. Obviously, you guys see me live a lot on TikTok when I'm at concerts or I'm at a festival or I'm at some kind of a show, whether it's a Pew Pew show or a Watch show or something like that. That's usually where a lot of my likes and shares, get on. So I appreciate the likes, guys. For right now, it's just me talking in my studio, so it's not the greatest thing or the most exciting thing. I get that. I'm not on with anybody. I if somebody wants to hop on with me, I'd be more than happy to go live with them. Sass, what's going on? I just want to come on and say, guys, again, I apologize for the podcast. It did get canceled late, but Mark had to reschedule. He had a family emergency, so Mark's Metal Minute was supposed to be on. I was telling my viewers over on Facebook that if you don't know who Mark of Mark's Metal Minute is, if you like hard rock and heavy metal, Mark takes about a minute and he goes over a video of a band that might be super underground or not as well known, and he kind of gives them the platform that they need. He tells you where to find them, where to find their music, what their music is like, whether they're ambient, whether they're heavy, whether they're riffy, whether they're bluesy, whatever he's got going on. He'll talk about that band and promote them and tag them in the bio. And we all do this for fun, guys, right? If you're passionate about music or movies and you want to have a platform, in this day and age, you can. Mark does a simple 1-minute clip of hard rock and heavy metal bands. He finds these, underground dark metal bands, black metal bands, death metal bands, thrash metal. He just finds them. I don't know if they come to him, if he goes to them. That was one of the questions I was going to ask him, how he comes across all this music, but he just gives somebody a platform. And that's what I do, guys. I give a voice to somebody who might never have been on a podcast before or wanted to try it. I let them use me to do it. We have a great conversation. I share it on YouTube. I send them the links, and that might give them the confidence or the will to do more. If you're not comfortable in front of a camera, I understand that. Not everybody is. I get that. But you have to put yourself out there if you become a public figure. There's no second guessing that. People are going to find your face. They're going to know who you are. They're going to link to your stuff. And if you want to grow as an influencer, as a podcaster, as just somebody on social media, if you're doing something for your business, I know a lot of real estate people now are on social media. I know there's a lot of people in marketing that have been doing, social media for a very long time. TikTok is a newer platform, but it's great to network. It's one of the best platforms. So if you want to be a guest on a podcast and you're not really comfortable, use me. I have a growing channel. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. I'm trying to get 10,000 here on TikTok. I have over 1,000 on Facebook. I have over 1,000 on Instagram. I have a pretty solid platform. But again, I just like having conversations with people. I'm a podcaster. Do I want to be an influencer? Sure. I started a second channel called Guns and Watches, where I basically talk about watches in Pew Pews. I don't want to say the G word because I don't want to get tagged, but that's my other YouTube channel where I do Pew Pew reviews and I do watch reviews, and it is it's fun for me, and it keeps me busy outside of the podcast because I like doing the podcast for having guests on and being a voice in that realm. But I do have other hobbies, guys. I love heavy metal. I love collecting vinyl records. I just went out today. I got this cool leftover from Record Store Day. So the original Danzig album, or the first Danzig album, this was a Record Store Day exclusive. So I was very lucky to score it at a pretty good price. Vinyl Revival out in Morris had it. That's where I was at today, and it was awesome. So I'll tag Vinyl Revival. I'll tag Danzig. Just the stuff that you would normally do if you were a podcaster or an influencer or doing the stuff you like. If you like heavy metal and you like hard rock and you like vinyl, I was thinking about maybe spinning some records here, maybe once a week, just going through my collection. I probably have now about, I would say, 200 vinyl albums, give or take. It's not a vast collection, but they're pretty much all of my favorites, right? So that's the big thing. I just started buying bands that I like. I had an enormous CD collection that I didn't bring with me when I moved into my house. I kind of left it behind. I sold it at a pawn shop and I got hosed. I probably had about a $10,000 investment in CDs, and I got back about $450, and there wasn't much I can do. I just didn't want to crate them here. I didn't want to do that. But now with my vinyl, I have them kind of all organized. And if I ever decide to move, I'm just going to buy 3 or 4 storage bins and I'll throw them in there. I have them all set up so they're not going anywhere, and it'll be very easy to transport. So the CDs, I didn't do that. Unfortunately, I wish I had time to go through them all and box them up. And, they were very organized but unorganized. They were in a giant bookshelf that I had that I just couldn't take with me. There was no way to do that. And I cherry picked all of the CDs that I liked or that were special to me, and I brought them and I got rid of the rest. And I did have a lot of, rarities, stuff that was from Japan, stuff that was from Australia, that was probably worth a lot of money, that I just kind of got rid of. And I hope the pawn shop that I went to drop them off at realized what they had, or at least went to Discogs or tried to look, because a lot of pawn shops will sell CDs for 25 cents or 50 cents just to get rid of them. And there were probably a couple CDs that were worth more than $50, for sure. But I don't know. I kind of, now I just started collecting vinyl. It's my preferred way to listen to music now. I still have a couple CDs. But for the most part, I just kind of have my, collection, and that's what I do, and that's what I have, and it's what I enjoy. And so that's it. I just kind of am, doing my thing with that. So if you are a fan of music and you like the podcast, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, One Fun Guy Podcast. I'm really trying to grow it. I want to hit 1,000 subscribers. If you guys can help me out, that'll be great. I love TikTok as a platform, guys. I'm not going to lie. It's a great networking platform. It is fantastic. So if you like me, or you like what you see, or you're just coming across the FYP, normally I know when I hit 1,000, it kind of goes out a little bit further. But if you want to be a guest on my podcast, or somebody who might make a guest, let them know. Tell them to contact me. I would love to set that up. That's kind of what I do. So in the meantime, with everything going on, Paranoia Threat, what's going on? Long time no see. We're gonna have to do another podcast too. There's a bunch of horror movies that came out that I want to do. I really want to, I kind of lose sight of a lot of things. I kind of have my list of things I want to do, and then that list kind of grows and kind of spreads and does everything. But things develop with me and people wanting to get on. Right now, I'm booking podcast guests through August into September now. So all of my July, all of my August is filled up. September is going to be, coming, quickly. Then it'll be October, November. The month of December, I usually only do one. We'll see what happens. And then January, the podcast turns 3. So it came around quick, guys. So yeah, I'm staying very busy. I started a new YouTube channel called Guns and Watches, where I do pew pew and watch reviews. I still have the One Fun Guy podcast. Obviously, I got guests lined up to be on. So yes, very busy, but everything is going well. I'm blessed to have this. I'm blessed to have this platform. It's really fantastic that I'm able to do all of this stuff. If you guys want, it's Guns in Watches, like Guns N' Roses on YouTube. That's my handle. So if you're over there on YouTube, Guns and Watches is my channel where I do pew pew reviews and watch reviews. I'll be going to Wind Up Chicago July, I believe it's the 10th and 11th and 12th. So I'll be live from Guns and Watches at the Wind Up event in Chicago. There is a few Pew Pew shows coming up that I plan on going to. I don't know how they are about you recording there, but I'm going to try to get some interviews in. I'm going to try to get some guests on my podcast from that platform. So yeah, so I am staying busy, but it's fun, right? I plan on doing some fishing in the next few weeks. The weather in Chicago is supposed to be scorching hot next week. We already got heat index warnings where it's going to be 92, 94, 96, 99, and then 94. So we have some warm weather coming up. So I might get up in the mornings on the weekends and throw the rod in the water and take some pictures of the lakes that I go to and the ponds. Like I said, I have a couple watches that I need to review. There's a Casio that I have that's pretty rare that I want to get on the channel. I already did the review on the Laco that I'm wearing today. I already did the review of the TW Steel that I have. I have a Breitling that I want to do a review on. I have a Hamilton that I want to do a review on. So, there's just seems to not be enough time in the day to do all that stuff. But I like to do all the specs. I like to get, everything that I can. I've been taking some videos of myself at the range, putting some rounds down range with the Pew Pews that I have. So I want to get the feel for them before I do the reviews. So yes, I do have a bunch of stuff happening. I do have a bunch of stuff going on, which I'm super, super busy all the time, but I do what I can when I can do it. When I retire, I would love to make YouTube my full-time gig, whether it's the podcast, whether it's Guns and Watches, that's the goal. I have some time before I do that, which is, fine. I have plenty of it, but down the road, that is my goal, is to do social media full-time in retirement. That way it'll subsidize my cost of living, and it'll give me an opportunity to go to new and cool places. I will have more than enough time at that point. Thanks, Paranoia. I appreciate that. I believe in me too, right? I just, I have stuff that I have to take care of, and, I have to put my ducks in a row. And obviously there's certain things that come up, concerts, shows that are important where the podcast gets put on hold. Then there's other things where a podcaster or a guest will say, listen, I really have a short schedule. I really want to do it this week. Then I have to make time for them. So things go in and out, up and down. I'm kind of all over the place. As much as I keep a schedule and as much as I keep a calendar, I always will try to accommodate somebody who wants to be a guest on my show. So I will try to make as much time for them as I can. I will try to make room. I will try to fit you in. I will try to squeeze you in. And that's with all the other things that I have going on as well, which is the concerts, the Pew Pews, the watches, the movie stuff that I do, the music reviews that I do, going to vinyl record shows, collecting. I was going to go live today, but I just wanted to get in and out. There was two things that I saw a few weeks ago, and I said, listen, if they have them, I'll buy them. If they don't, they don't. And unfortunately, they did have the Danzig. They had one left. So I did buy that. I was going to get the Sisters of Mercy. That one was sold, so I couldn't get that. And I did score the Nightwish Bye Bye Beautiful today. So those were the things that I got. So I'm happy with that. Like I said earlier, I showed you guys the Danzig from the record store day. That was on my list. So it's just one left that I need to get. And so gotta head out, but yeah, no problem, Paranoia. Thanks for hopping in. One of these days we'll go live together and we'll do this again, and we'll split the screen on TikTok like we used to back in the day and just kind of shoot the shit and go from there. It's about a minute. But I will get you on and we'll hang out again soon. And that's kind of how it is, guys, with the networking thing. You meet some really cool people along the way. And that's all it is. It's positivity, positive energy into the universe. That's my goal in life, is to, sure, we all have bad days. Sure, we all get stressed out, but at the end of the day, you're still alive. You still have a life to live. You still have air to breathe. You're still here. So that means something, right? That's positive energy into the universe. that you are still on this planet and you have one more day to go and you live to see another day, because tomorrow's not guaranteed and you can't go back and change time, right? There's a lot of mistakes I made, a lot of regrets I have. There's plenty of them, but there's nothing I can do other than learn from them and grow from them and enjoy the memories that were in the past. Look at all the stuff that I've accomplished in my life. But do I have goals and dreams moving forward? Absolutely. But they're not guaranteed. Nothing is. So enjoy each day, make the most of each day, and just be happy that you're here, that you're able to breathe in air and that you get one more day on this planet. Some people have really good lives. Some people have not so good lives. But it's the energy and the focus that matters, right? If you have a very bad life, but you're a positive person, that's amazing. That means you're an amazing human being and you have a lot to put into this world. If you have a bad life and you're miserable towards people and you're mean and you're all about you, that's negative energy, right? You don't want that. I don't like to have negative energy in my life. I like to have positive people, positive energy, positive thoughts, well wishes. So that's me. That's not everybody. There's some people that make a great living on YouTube destroying other people, here on TikTok destroying other people, right? Tearing people apart. Look at this person, look at that person. They just berate them, but it gets views, so they do what they need to do. That's not me. I love to put positivity in the world. I would love to have people that are positive on my thing. Java Moonbeam, what's going on? Do I follow you? If I don't, I'm going to. I do. What's going on? Like I said, guys, just be positive, be courteous, and again, have a little sympathy for people in the world, right? You don't know what their situation is like. You don't know what they're going through. If you can just give them a little, keep your head up, things will get better. It goes a long way, guys. You don't have to belittle anybody. You don't have to berate anybody. You don't have to put anybody down. There's no reason for that, right? That's negativity. It's negative energy, and it's not welcome, at least with me. I love to have, of course, I've said this earlier, guys. Are there times when I get upset? Yes. Are there times when I get pissed? Yes. Are there times when I say stuff I regret? Absolutely. But I just try to be a good human being, right? I try to uplift people. I try to, help them. If there's anything I could do to make their day a little bit better, just ask for help. I'm always here, guys. I tell that to everybody. Email me, text me, shoot me a message on here. If there's something you need or something I could help you with, let me know and I will do my best to accommodate you. If I can, link you up with somebody that you're looking to do, or there's something that you want to try and you don't have the means to do it, let me know. I have a ton of connections. I will be more than happy to help you out or to try to get you to accomplish what you want to accomplish. I will be more than happy to do that. I will use my platform to help anybody that I can achieve whatever they're trying to do, right? I don't want to put anybody down. I have a wide variety of people that I've met through networking, and if they can help you, they will help you, guys. I only surround myself with positive people on here. Anybody who follows me and I follow them, it's because of our energy, it's because of our positivity, it's because of our creativity. It's all of the stuff that I'm looking for in people that I want to be associated with me and that I want to associate with. So if I could help in any way, please feel free to get a hold of me or contact me. Christina, thank you so much. I will follow you back, guys. Anybody who follows me on here and I see them during the live, I will definitely follow back. If you guys are new to me, I'm the One Fun Guy podcast. I do a bi-weekly podcast. It's a conversation style. All my stuff gets put on YouTube, guys. Anything that I create, even this will go up on YouTube later. I put everything to my socials. I'm One Fun Guy podcast across all the platforms. So Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. One Fun Guy. All my links are in my bios. I cross-platform. I will put this video up on my YouTube channel. Everything I do grows on my YouTube channel, guys. If you're new to me, welcome. If you're not new to me, welcome back. Nikki, what's going on? How have you been? Me and Nikki became friends. We talk all the time. We always check in on each other, see how things are going. We live a few states away, so it's hard to meet up and it's hard to do everything. But, the people that you meet on here and the people that I've met met have been superhuman beings. We're always talking, we're always getting along, we always support each other, we always check in on each other, and that's what I'm about, right? Obviously, would I like to have relationships and friendships beyond this? Of course. But sometimes it's just not reasonable, right? As much as we'd want to see each other, or we'd want to hang out in real life, or we do that, right? That would be awesome. But having conversations on TikTok or sharing my number, if I get to know you and I'm comfortable enough with that, that means we're friends. That means you're in my circle. And again, you can use me if you need me to help me with what you got going on. There are people that need help with starting a channel. There's people that need help with starting a TikTok. There's people that need help, going live, and what to do. I started off, guys, and I kid you not, with a Samsung Galaxy 18 camera or phone. It was my dad's. He passed away and I took it and I had no use for it. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go live with that because at least then I could watch myself. Then I upgraded to an iPad. I took one from somebody and I started using it. I said, hey, can I borrow this? They said yes. So I started using my iPad. So I went off the phone. And now I've gotten to the point where I've been able to buy myself a new iPad. So that's what I'm going live with now. But you can start with basically anything that you have. A phone, a tablet, an iPad, a computer, a laptop, anything with a camera will allow you to go live. And then you share that with the world. And I understand if you don't feel comfortable being in front of a camera, that's not everybody's thing. I totally understand that. But you don't have to be in front of the camera. You can be behind the camera. You can be a photographer. You can be a videographer. You could be a vlogger. You could be a taste tester. You can do a bunch of stuff with just your voice and not your face and still grow a pretty awesome channel, right? So you don't have to necessarily be in front of the camera. You could be behind it, but your life matters and what you do matters, and people enjoy seeing that, right? So if you like to go find new coffee spots and you take people with you to go try a cup of coffee and you rate it and tell them how it is, even if they don't see your face, that might open their world up to something new. They might say, listen, this person went there, said it's a great cup of coffee. I'm going to go and check it out. They have really good lattes. They have good pastries. They have good whatever, right? Now you've opened somebody else's eyes to something new that they might have not seen before. So it's all in the matter of how you look at things. It's all about perspective. Not everybody wants to get in front of a camera. I understand that. I didn't want to either, right? When I first started, but I knew if I'm going to have a podcast, I better start getting used to being in front of a camera. Luckily, I wasn't, shy. I wasn't able, I've always been a good speaker. I've never been afraid of public speaking. I've never been afraid of going in front of people and talking. I've never, been shy of starting a conversation with somebody. So it was just second nature for me. It was easy, right? Being in front of a camera was no big deal to me. It was just like any other situation that I'd been in. It was like a FaceTime conversation, right? Then I started to, grow my channel and I needed guests. So who do you turn to? You turn to your friends and family, right? Hey, do you want to be a guest on my podcast? Do you want to, hope you have a good night too. Java, we'll stay in touch. I'll shoot you a message after this. Maybe we can work something out, and kind of go from there. But for me, guys, it was easy. I just asked all my friends and family that were into cool stuff. Hey, do you want to be a guest on my podcast? They said, sure. So that's how I started. It was literally everybody I knew. Then I started networking and then I started, asking, and then I started, moving forward. And then I met a great human being named Kelly. He's the singer and musical director of Arsenic. And I said, hey, dude, you and me hit it off, right? We didn't know each other before. We met, we were local-ish. We met at a really good burger place in Schaumburg called Kuma's. It's a heavy metal burger place. They name all their burgers after heavy metal bands. So we sat there and we chatted for about 3.5, 4 hours. We ended up closing the place down and we became instant friends. So then I said, listen, I have an idea. You love music. I love music. Let's start a podcast. We'll talk about music. So we did. So we started the Pod Cult. And it was awesome. We got a bunch of people that were involved. We had a bunch of support. We had a bunch of stuff. Then Kelly comes to me one day. We were about maybe 4 or 5 months into the Pod Cult. And he said, listen, I got to talk to you about something. I said, sure. What's going on? He goes, listen, I don't want to end the Pod Cult by any stretch of the imagination. But he's like, I really want to focus on my music. I'm starting this songwriting class. I'm starting to pick up my guitar more. I'm starting to write music. Can we just take a little hiatus while I finish my album? And then once I do that, we'll go back together. I'm like, dude, absolutely. I couldn't tell you how proud I was of him to say that, to want to do that, right? we had fun talking about music, but he wanted to make music. I would never in a million years say, no, don't end what we're doing, because, I would never be selfish like that. I was like, absolutely. So we put the Pod Cult on hiatus, and now he's working on an album. He's got 4 songs out. He just put out a song called Destiny Control. It is awesome, guys. If you don't know who Kelly is, he's linked in all of my stuff. He's Arsenic. He's a one-man band, basically. He writes industrial metal music, and it's awesome. And I met him on TikTok live one time, and we became instant friends. And it's just because of doing things like that, right? Putting yourself out there, talking to new people. And yes, I understand. You meet somebody on social media, they're technically a stranger, right? You don't know them. You talk to them, you have a conversation, but that's how any friendship starts. You meet somebody for the first time that you've never met before, they're a stranger. Once you get to talk to them, once you get to know them, once you get to associate with them, then they're not a stranger anymore, right? They become a friend. And Kelly became a friend and a podcast partner, right? And now I'm super excited that I get to support him on his musical journey, right? He's going to be live in West Chicago at the end of the month. I'm going to go and support him there. And again, the Pod Cult will be back, but it's just taking a risk in talking to people and letting somebody into your lives, right? It's terrible, right? When you get DMs from hundreds of people like I do, right? But there are some really cool people out there that will DM me and say, listen, I like what you do. Thank you. Give them a thumbs up. Hey, what do you got going on? Do you want to be a guest, right? And we have a conversation. It's what you have to do. That's the point of it being social media. If it wasn't social, it would just be media, right? You get to talk to people. You get to meet new people. You get to interact with different people, right? So embrace that. Yes, of course they're strangers when you first meet. You don't know them, right? Sure, some people are weird. Sure, some people are obnoxious. Some people are rude, right? Move on. You can meet an awesome person and get to know somebody and have a lifelong friendship with somebody that you might have never thought about striking up a conversation with. And that's all I'm saying, guys, right? I'm not saying that you have to invite somebody over to your house, that you have to go, right? Me and Kelly were just 2 dudes. We clicked, and now we're friends. And I support him and cherish him and everything that he's got going on, everything Heather's got going on. We became friends. We intertwine now, and now it goes beyond the camera, right? It goes behind it, right? Now we're buddies in real life. We text each other, we call each other. I always check in on him, see what he's got going on, anything new happening, right? But that's the power of social media, and you have to embrace the social aspect of it. So if you are new to TikTok, it's a ride. But strap yourself in, because it's a fun one. So get used to, people interacting with you. That's what they do, right? That's how it is, right? All over the world, right? There's people that are on here from Ghana, Kenya, Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam, China, Brazil, all over the world, not just the US. So it's a cool thing, right? Talk to somebody in Germany, talk to somebody in Sweden, talk to somebody in Denmark, right? It's pretty cool. I met an awesome guitar player. His name is Kaji. Kaji is from Sweden. From Denmark. And we had to, when he did my podcast, we had to figure out a time frame because he was 7 hours ahead of me. So again, it was awesome though. Kaji's great. If you guys are on here, I think he's Kaji the Cat now. But Kaji is great. Kaji. Kaji is awesome. He plays a lot of, heavy songs and heavy riffs. He's working on an album. So you never know who you're going to meet, guys, and who you're going to come across. And, just be open-minded. That's all I'm saying. It doesn't necessarily have to be the most positive experience, but just be open to the fact that, you might meet somebody on here that might be a lifelong friend. Obviously, I was talking to Nikki just a bit ago, and Paranoia Threat and Cass. We've all talked outside of TikTok, and it's awesome. We have a real friendship that we forged outside of social media. It's a great thing. I met Ellie this way. I met a bunch of people on, just by going live, and people coming in and sending me a DM, and saying, hey, I loved your live. I love the positivity. I love the creativity. And that's all it takes for me. And then now we start a conversation and we go from there. So Again, guys, I don't want to make this super long. I'm probably going to hop off in a couple minutes here, but I just wanted to invite everybody to be part of the One Fun Guy podcast. Obviously, I'm here on TikTok, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm on YouTube. One Fun Guy podcast is my handle. All my links are on the bio, guys. Please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you can leave a comment, that would be awesome. My goal is to hit 10,000 followers here and 1,000 followers on YouTube. Again, guys, I wanted to apologize. I was supposed to be live with Mark's Mental Minute. Hey, Kim, what's going on? Mark, unfortunately, had to cancel. He had a family emergency, so we're going to reschedule. So that's why I came on here. I would have been live with him. The podcast was supposed to start at 5. I went live. I apologize for not having him on. We are going to reschedule, so we will find out what date's going to work for him in the future, and we're going to go from there. But unfortunately, guys, I had to reschedule the podcast for today, so I thought I'd come on TikTok and hang out for a little bit. That's kind of my thing when something doesn't kind of work out well for me that way. But I just wanted to say thank you all for being part of the One Fun Guy podcast, guys. I truly appreciate it. It means the world to me. Thank you for all the love and support. Again, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, One Fun Guy Podcast. The link is in the bio. I appreciate everybody. I will see you guys soon. And again, if you want to send me a message, please feel free to do that. I don't mind. I'll respond. I'm just a one-man show. But please, thank you again for being a part of the One Fun Guy Podcast. I love you all, and I'll see you on the next one.